Bien, un aplauso para los movimientos.
Good evening. Welcome to God, Freedom, and Bitcoin. I'm Janet Gatewood.
And I'm Todd Gatewood. Welcome, guys.
We are here. So happy to be here. I think I need to hire an engineer. That was the second show in a row. We've had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're back. And it's a special show tonight. It's been quite a few days since the loss of Charlie Kirk. And we did a show on Charlie Kirk less than 24 hours after it happened, a very emotional show. And so much has transpired this week, and everyone knows it's affected everything worldwide. Every time I go on my phone, on a social media, on anything, it's Charlie Kirk. And it's incredible. They've made a martyr out of him. It's just unbelievable.
Well, it really is. And I mean, you know, it's ironic that when all that happened, we were in El Salvador, you know, looking at our resort and, you know, doing our bank and stuff down there, our credit union, I should say. So it was a lot to process, a lot to take in. And, you know, I've told many people that when we got that news, it was just like shock. It's like, what do you do with that? You know, this guy was just as good as gold. And you're sitting there and hearing this, and it's like it's just not really sinking in. You know, he spoke for freedom and God and everything else. And it's like he was just, you know, wiped off the face of this planet for no reason, except telling the truth.
You know, so we played a video at the beginning of our trip to El Salvador. Those were reels that showed us with the credit union, with the resort, the Private Key Resort, Private Key Capital coming here soon. But what you didn't see was the day started with we landed is when we had the news of Charlie Kirk. And while he's gone, he's everywhere. To think about, you know, he lived every day to the fullest. And I've listened to so much this week and seen so much of the Charlie Kirk and his opinions on things and different interviews. There are a lot of TikTok reels and things. He had an incredible social media team that really, they've been going through and pulling stuff together. And so, you know, we titled this Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly because Megyn Kelly actually hosted his show, the Charlie Kirk show this week. And I had stopped watching Megyn Kelly for a while. She went to, I think it was NBC. Mm-hmm. And because I used to watch her, loved her debating with Bill O'Reilly. I thought that was so interesting. But so I hadn't listened to her in a long time. But something made me pull that up and listen to that today. And it was incredible. And she paid such a beautiful honor to him and such a nice, respectful tribute. And she introduced all of his staff and team because, you know, you think about the family, but that Turning Point team, and they traveled with him, and they're still in. Like, they've now nominated Erica Kirk to be CEO. They said she knew everything, and that's who Charlie would wanted. So that's an incredible day to see all that happen.
Well, they have a lot to fight for. They really do. And it's like the enemy would want you to pack your bags, give up, and not carry on what he built. And that's the last thing you want to do, is you actually want to be able to stay the course, continue the work, preaching the word, and also preaching freedom. And that's exactly what Charlie Kirk stood for. And that's why his team is going to carry it on. And good for them, because that's what you do in the face of the enemy. You say, you know what? I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to fight. and we're going to take this to the end until the end. And that's exactly what they're doing. And I couldn't be more proud for them. And I think as freedom lovers and patriots out there, all of us need to support that group as much as we possibly can, and just support love for one another and freedom in God. That's really God, freedom, and Bitcoin. That's what we're about here. And we're going to step our efforts up and live that motto.
Yeah, I mean, such amazing inspiration. I loved everything you said about that. We do need to step our efforts up. It takes boldness. It takes strength, calling evil for what it is. And he stood as a testimony to that. But wow, he was so smart. And that's such a blank sentence to say that he was so intelligent. I don't know how he remembered everything. I saw him this week debating someone. They were in college because he didn't have a college degree, and he felt like college was a scam. And so he's debating these college students that are looking down on him because he doesn't have a degree. So that he asked the guy, he's like, so what are you studying? He's studying economy. So who do you think about this? And he listed like 7, 8 names of these economists. He knew them off the top of his head. The student had heard of maybe 1 or 2. He knew all about it. He was self-taught. And his ability to just recall scripture is so impressive. And it made me, his life, his death made me go, I need to be in the Bible more. I need to be praying more. I need to be memorizing scripture more. I did that as a little girl. I did that growing up. I did that in college. And I've been so busy working as an adult. And we all are, trying to make ends meet, and you've got everything on you, and inflation, which is why we're here. There's so much taking our energy that you don't have as much time, but he made time. It was incredible.
Yeah. And I can relate to that because I don't have a degree either. And, you don't have to have good common sense. And, one thing about colleges, they do have their use, but also they've been a propaganda arm for the government and everybody else for a long time. And they haven't been teaching these kids. They've been doing a real injustice to them, but not really teaching them anything, but kind of teaching them how to live in a slave system. And, it's not really a lot of free thinking that goes on. It's like follow, drink the Kool-Aid, follow us, we'll teach you right, and this, that, and the other, but they're not teaching them anything. So for me, I love hearing stories like that because there's a lot of blue collar people out there and people who are self-taught that don't have that degree necessarily, but do have these smarts and the wherewithal to be able to be a huge boon for the society. I mean, they bring a lot to the table that most people don't give them enough credit for. And he's built a great organization, and that's coming from someone without that degree.
Yeah, so impressive. And that's one of the things we're missing, are analytical skills, because they teach so much memorization. Anybody listening, like when you went through school here in the U.S., I was in a public school, high school, and there was just so much memorization. There wasn't as much analyzing and thinking for yourself, because it's like you just are fed this is how it is, this is how it is. Like even like fossil fuels, we've learned there's nothing like fossil fuels about oil. It's not like if this is all the dinosaur and plant breakdown. Actually, the oil regenerates in the earth. They never taught us that. If that's news to you listening, research it, look it up. Like there's so many things we haven't been taught, but if you start analyzing, and I think the whole being in the Bitcoin space has woken us up to the financial lies in our system. It's woken us up to the Fed being a fraud, essentially. And you start questioning everything we talk about in our shows, big pharma and all of that. You need to question your history. You need to question what you're taught. If you're taught something, when you leave that classroom, go research it, see if it's true. I had one of my daughters, and this is funny, but she got all into ancient Egypt in 5th grade. And she studied, and she could tell you if a history book was wrong because she had studied it so much. That's not the right Ptolemy. That's not this. That was in the wrong city. You really need to know what you believe. And so that goes back to research. And he would question student after student. And some of them, it was really, really neat rapport back and forth. Others were like, they were ready for the fight and they're going in for it, going in. And he's staying real flatline and stuff, answering them back. I don't know if you've been seeing a lot of these reels, but it's really been interesting this week.
Well, I haven't. And I'll be honest with you, I should do a better job of that. But I'm kind of one of these people who watches things from afar and don't delve too deep into it necessarily, but I have enough info that I can process what's being said and that without spending a lot of time into it. But yeah, I do it. From what I saw of him, we lost a great human being and the heavens are being blessed right now with his presence, I can assure you.
Yeah, we have a club member here. We're at the Bitcoin and Crypto Club south of Nashville to teach Bitcoin and crypto education. We have a variety of programs that we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. But one of our club members was in our class. We have live classes Tuesday, Thursday. You can come at the club 12:30, be a club member, and join our classes. And she showed me a picture of her with Charlie Kirk.
Oh,
he was tall. Like I'm 5'4". She's taller than me. He was a whole head taller than her. And the things that I've learned this week about him, because you think about somebody that is so intelligent and they're so driven and so successful at 31 in reaching the masses, he really valued sleep. Like a lot of us, I stay up late working a lot.
Too late. This woman works incessantly and all the time, and it's me trying to get her to bed. You know, her bed is usually our recliners. We got matching recliners, and she's usually falling asleep with a laptop in her lap. So there you go.
They're cute. They're not ugly.
Yeah, it's time for new ones.
But he valued sleep. He didn't put poisons in his body. So this has been a thing online this week. His Starbucks order was like a Majesty tea, like a double. The comments are open.
I think it's mint. Yeah.
Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys. So there's a story that was out this week that a grandmother ordered that in California, and they wrote loser on it. Now they're saying now that it was written after. I don't know, because the stories I read, she and her family went to Starbucks, but people have been going to Starbucks and ordering his drink with his name to honor him. And Starbucks has put out a statement that that's okay. You can do that and put someone else's name, and they do that often. But I'm saying that is because I was seeing him with those coffee. I'm like, how much coffee does he drink? Because I drink a lot of coffee. He's drinking green tea with honey for his voice. Mm-hmm. And every time he's talking to those, like, what's in his mouth? He's like always got something in his mouth. He's sitting there answering these students, and it's cough drops to kind of preserve his voice. So I'm like, I'm a detail person. So I'm like kind of studying this and how does he operate and how did he keep it all together. But I'll tell you what he did. He turned his phone off for 24 hours. He actually did it on Friday night to Saturday night. I don't know why, not Sunday. But he literally put it in a drawer. I don't know if I could ever do, like, I'm in real estate, right? And we're moving this business fast.
Well, that's not all you're into. You're not just real estate. So.
No, I'm in our whole Bitcoin business and marketing. But I have children and a mother with Alzheimer's. And I don't usually say that. I've never said that on the air. I'm meaning to protect her privacy, but I am dealing with that. And so I thought of putting my phone in a drawer for a day. I don't think I could do it. I have to make people dependent. But he said it just like cleared the air and just gave them great family time and clarity.
Well, I mean, look, we lost a lot of that with the digital age and everything, you know, as far as our phones, computers, TVs, it's all distraction away from what's really important in our life, and it's our families and stuff. So that's tough because the convenience of these is nice, but I can tell you if you're a realtor or you're in some kind of sales business or something, the phone is your worst nightmare because you could turn things off after Friday and pick it back up, you know, Monday morning. And now people expect you, if you're in some kind of service industry, to be on 24/7 without any regard whatsoever for your personal life or anything like that. And that's part of the business. And I get that, but it's tough. It's tough on people who rely on sales to not ever get a break. And, you know, Janet, she never gets one. So she's an incessant worker. She's good at what she does. And, you know, one day my goal is to retire her from all of this, hopefully in the near future.
Not Bitcoin, not retiring me from Bitcoin, right?
Never retiring you from Bitcoin. No.
And I love my clients. Like I showed a house today, and I've known them over 10 years. Love them. I would just jump at an hour. There's some though that usually like a doormat. They're kind of abusive in how they hit your phone. And, you know, you work for me. The thing is in real estate, you don't get paid till it's all done. So I've had people treat me very terribly and then not get paid at the end of it. So I'm doing better about pushing out files or saying no to some things. But this space is amazing. We got here because you wanted to see me get out of the grind of real estate. Now, we're not going to get completely out because, guys, real estate and Bitcoin, are you kidding? That's like the next thing. It's going to be amazing. Bitcoin backed loans for real estate. So we're working on that. So you go to bitcoinbend.io, you can start seeing a lot of the things that we're working on. We have 5 open clubs in the US, and we teach Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. We teach live classes. We have 95 or more class archives available. We also have, though, it's so exciting to do, we have private bulk buys. We have mining. And what is mining? It's energy. It's how you grow the Bitcoin. And if you can mine it, you're not having to go to someone else and get it. And it's not only do you just get your Bitcoin and hold it, but if you mine it, you're actually encouraging it to grow more, which is amazing because Bitcoin has grown over 60% a year. We said this number, I think, in the last show. In the last 10 years, if you put $10,000 in Bitcoin, today you'd have about not quite $3 million in 10 years. So 10,000 became 3 million. So do we have 10 more years? What if you put 10,000 in Bitcoin today? What if it's half of that, $1.5 million? I mean, that's amazing growth.
That's a nice rate of return, actually. And, just to go back to next Friday, for anybody that's going to be in the area or want to come in, we're actually having a meetup here from 4 to 6. And Ben's going to be in town as well. So we've got a lot going on at the club. There's going to be a lot of things going on moving forward into 2026 with the clubs and with our bank and everything else, or I should say our credit union rather. But just a lot of exciting news coming, a lot of classes. Steve Blanco is our lead educator here, and he does an absolute phenomenal job. And then, Paul Bucci, Crypto Sherpa, he's in our Sarasota office, and he is such a blessing to us as well. He does a lot of the technical stuff that we need done as far as getting our newsletters out to our people and everything. And just overall, we've got a great team. Dr. Jay Bowes, Nathan, all of the people, Gloria, just so many people to name that's a part of our organization. They're just wonderful.
Yeah, it's really fun watching it come together. And so if you're listening, if you're new to Bitcoin, yes, we have a Bitcoin one-on-one next Friday here in Nashville, but we also can help you if you don't live close by. And if you are not new to Bitcoin, you just love it. I mean, the programs we have, the bulk buys, the mining, the loans for Bitcoin, if you want to get a loan or do an advance on your credit card or even an equity loan on your house, we have partners in place to provide these services exclusively to our club members. You go to bitcoinbend.io, sign up for one of the clubs. We obviously love Nashville, but they're all great. And we've got more coming. So we're working on a lease right now for a club in West Palm Beach. Guys, it's 1.5 miles from Mar-a-Lago. And that is going to be our premiere. And that's really going to be our headquarters for Private Key Capital, which is our credit union. So you saw again at the beginning of the show, we did get that officially approved in El Salvador. And that bank, that credit union's at release. But here in the U.S., it will be Private Key Capital. But we're also going to have Private Key Resorts. And that should close in a couple of weeks in El Salvador. We'll be renovating that and have that ready probably late December. All-inclusive, tokenized, 5-star resort in El Salvador. Yeah, the food is amazing. We're talking about this because there are a lot of people that talk in the Bitcoin space, but we're actually building businesses.
Well, we are. And that's the thing about it, guys. It's great to hold Bitcoin, but you really need to build what Ben calls a wheel of wealth. And if you're sitting on Bitcoin, that's great. But if you're not sitting on much like some of the whales are, you're not growing it. And really the name of the game is to grow it. And it means you're going to have to build businesses in the ecosystem. And that's exactly what we're doing here. And I'm proud to say that we're going to be making this space even bigger and better with everything that we have going on. So it's going to be a fun trip for all of us. 2026 is going to be insane, wild. 2025 is pretty wild as it is. We're running 90 to nothing, and we're going to be running 100 to nothing come next year. So lots of stuff coming. All I can say is come be a part of what we're building, because we are truly here at the Bitcoin Bend clubs building the future. I mean, it's right in front of us, and we're building it. And there's a lot of exciting stuff coming. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Another program we have is we work with the Beef Initiative out of Texas with Texas Slim. Shout out to Texas Slim and Steve Williams. And we have a Bitcoin and beef program, clean beef, non-mRNA beef. And so this week, the freezer came on Friday. I need to put it out on our socials. Yep. So when you do this Sphere Club, you get a freezer and you get enough meat for a family of 4 4 times a year. And so we get our first meat shipment this week. So we'll put that out so people can see it. But when people are looking for a better food for themselves, we've all learned that steak, beef, eggs, all of that is so much better for us. Our bodies need fat. Our brains need fat. We don't need statins. We don't need all of these seed oils. And we certainly don't need sugar. And I've given up sugar for 48 hours. Not so bad right now.
And you're surviving. I know you can do it. You and me both, we're both trying to work on our bodies and stuff and do better. So it's a daily process, and we kind of, I've kind of got a coach now, so I'm trying to work on myself a little bit. So we'll see.
Yeah. I woke up with a headache and I thought, it's the sugar. I love chocolate. I ate dark chocolate. Love it. And I haven't had any in 2 days. And I'm thinking, that must be the headache. But I know when we did this before, we cut out sugar and seed oils. We felt better. There was inflammation went away. Brain fog goes away. We know that there are things that feed on the sugars in our bodies, like cancers, parasites, which is gross, but they're out there. And stomach acid kills a lot of that. But you just have stuff in your system. But sugar is a poison, a toxin. So Todd and I are trying to get back on track. Like, that's the whole thing about this whole Bitcoin and crypto space. It's all encompassing because everyone kind of has that same mindset of truth, freedom, a better quality life, financially, physically, emotionally. Like, our clubs are really great social support at our clubs as well.
Yeah, and I will say the best time to start a New Year's resolution is the day that is today. Don't wait till New Year's. So that's I always tell people, don't wait till the holidays. You're like, well, I'll get it after the holidays, but start now. And it's truly, this space is so enlightening. You learn financially, you learn health. You just learn from freedom lovers. I mean, it's really, really interesting the amount of knowledge that we're picking up from different people. I mean, we have really grown our sphere with the amount of people we've met. We were in El Salvador a week and a half ago, and just the people down there are phenomenal. And I love this space because it gives you the opportunity to go and get outside your box. That's the one thing people always struggle with, is getting outside their box. It's easy. I'm from a small town, so for me, Nashville was outside my box. But once I got out into the bigger world, I found out, man, there's more out here than just this area. So it's really fun to be able to explore the possibilities that are out there.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Bitcoin has taken us all over this planet.
Yes.
With travel. So the Bitcoin price right now is the 115,781.
I'm so disappointed.
And I'm sure in a year it's going to be like 250, 300, and we'll be like, oh, I wish I could buy it right now.
At 115.
At 115.
Yeah.
But so that's amazing. We've seen a lot of changes. Listen to this, like PayPal. PayPal is just, isn't it, like, allowed you to do peer-to-peer Bitcoin with 40,000 vendors. Isn't that right?
Yeah, but how long can you trust that? That's the thing. It's like, if they get it in there, get a hankering, sorry, Southern term guys, if they get a hankering for wanting to shut you down, they can act like they're the biggest Bitcoin lovers in the world and say, I don't like what you're saying, shut you off. We've had it happen to us personally. Janet has, for sure.
Well, PayPal.
Yeah.
But I think what it is it's exciting and encouraging. And I'm going to try to use it because I want to see how it works. But I'm not going to keep a lot of Bitcoin on there.
I would not.
Some of these platforms, I don't know about PayPal, some of them won't let you move your Bitcoin off. They'll let you buy some and use it, but you have to sell it to move it off the platform. And I think Cash App either was that way or is that way. I don't work with all these platforms because I really don't have trust issues with them, and I've been unbanked, and I don't trust them to do that. But it's exciting to see this hit mainstream.
Well, it is, and the best part about club memberships, we help get you out of that type of system. So, highly recommend joining one of our clubs, many clubs, to find out some of the programs that you can get involved with as far as the purchase of Bitcoin and stuff. We'll be glad to help you and get you onboarded, and also teach you about wallets and wallet safety and things like that as well.
Yeah. So this trip we just did El Salvador, I had to order promo items for the Averly's Bank and for Private Key Capital. And I didn't want to deal with shipping in and out of El Salvador. So I found a promo item company there. They were great to work with, and I paid for it in Bitcoin. And it was so easy. and so fast. And you can't do Bitcoin.
Some people call it Bitcoin though.
It could not handle all of the transactions, like all of that. We're going to have like a layer on top of it, and there will be, but it's still exciting to see that and to see that network and see it on the blockchain and know it's possible, because it is so tiring to be strapped by the bank. Okay, it's 3:30 or 4. You can't do anything now till Monday. That's very frustrating.
It's kind of ironic that the banks are the only ones that can have 5-day-a-week work weeks. Some have 6, but most of them are 5-day work weeks, and we close at 5. And they don't. Everybody else has to work through the weekends and stuff like that, but they get the luxury of not being able to do that. That in itself is just like, where's your customer service? Well, the answer is they don't have customer service, and they haven't for a long time because there's not been any real competition. So, hence Bitcoin. And other cryptos are actually competition for that system, which is good because we need competition, because competition makes them step up their game, which quite frankly, when you're running a monopoly, that's a serious problem. And for some reason, they've been able to get away with monopolies for a long time. So, but I'm glad for Bitcoin because I believe it's actually going to help us with that system and get us out of it. Fiat has, well, I won't say Fiat has its place. It does in trash, but if we went back to a US dollar, gold, silver, Bitcoin, we'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to take us back to Charlie Kirk for a minute, just because he's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I loved how he answered a lot of things. So there was a question to him about gun safety, right? Gun violence. And we need to get them all off the streets because one gun could take a life. He's like, so you're going to get all the cars off the street? And they said, what are you talking about? He's like, you can lose 50,000 people every year. I don't know if that was every year, every month, or every day. I need to look it up. But all of these people are killed in car accidents. But you still want to get in the car and go to your appointment or go wherever it is you need to go. So you're going to get rid of the cars because a certain number of people are going to die. And so that was kind of an interesting argument. I've never heard that argument when people are trying to take guns away, because the countries that are armed are safer. They have the fewer incidents. There are incidences, but I also think we have false flags in this country. And I do think that was a professional hit. And there's so much conspiracy out there about this Charlie Kirk brutal assassination. I mean, he was executed publicly, basically. And there are all these different stories, but at the end of the day, they tried to silence him and they couldn't, because guess what? His voice is so much louder now.
Well, it is. And all you've done is you've angered a bunch of people out there by killing this man. I use this term, and I use this, but I don't use this in disrespect, but it's almost like crucifying Jesus Christ all over again. And you murdered a good man. And shame on them. Shame on you people. Whoever's involved with this, shame on you for doing this. You killed a good man. You took a man away from his family. And for whatever evil purpose, which I'm sure there's lots of news coming out about all of you guys out there who stirred this stuff up. So shame on you. I got nothing else to say about that.
Yeah, I do think it's the liberal media. It's the money that funnels to create that liberal media that's created this division in our country and this confusion with our youth as well. And this movement away from family. He was a family man. He loved the Lord. He went into these hard places and he knew it would be challenging, and he prepared himself for it. And they had 3,500 different colleges they'd been on, but they've had thousands of people apply to Turning Point USA to establish chapters since his death. Thousands. So they thought they would silence him, and they woke up everybody. And if you go, we're going to have Turning Point USA, tpusa.com, underneath this program. But they've got the service tomorrow, Sunday the 21st. It's 11 a.m. Mountain Time, I believe, in Arizona, in Glendale, Arizona, in the State Farm Arena. But it'll be broadcast everywhere, and it's going to be beautiful. You're going to have President Trump there. You're going to have Chris Tomlin leading the worship music. I mean, come on, that's going to be amazing and just so prayerful. There have been prayer vigils all over the country. And we saw the one episode where Office Depot, they would not print a poster for a prayer vigil because they said it was propaganda. They lost their jobs. I mean, the people are finally mad at being bullied and being pushed back. And so many people have lost their jobs for being so ugly about his murder. There was a doctor in New Jersey who was horrifically disrespectful about the murder. He should be preserving life. And the nurse that called him out got fired or suspended. And so it's just that she's out there now. It's out there now. These people are being called for they are. And Jimmy Kimmel he got canceled, right?
He did. So that doctor's not following his Hippocratic oath. So how can we trust the AMA, the Medical Association and stuff, and some of these doctors when you know what their political beliefs are, guys? I mean, let's be real here. If you've got deranged people out there who don't value life better than that, what good are they? Literally. I mean, honestly, it's not good that you've got these people that are these nice white coats and call themselves a professional and a doctor and stuff like that, telling you that, glad he's dead. Basically, I don't get any. I don't have any. That scares me personally. It makes me hope I never have to go to a hospital. Literally.
There was a pediatric nurse in Atlanta, and she was so glad he died. Right? I don't remember her exact statement. And she got fired. But can you imagine going in with your child to the pediatrician, to the emergency room with your baby, and you have on a Trump, whatever, and she hates him? Is she going to,
Are you going to get the best care?
Are you going to live? Are you going to survive the appointment?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's pretty sad. You shouldn't interject politics or your dislike for somebody in the care of somebody. And I feel like that's where we're at in society as a whole. I think there's so much divisiveness. And it's really on one side, and it's been on one side it's the hate mongers. And I'm not even going to mention it, but you know who they are. They've been around for a long time, and they're just getting more loud and boisterous because they're getting their butts kicked left and right.
They're being funded, though, outside of this country. Yeah. Okay, so picture this. You have Charlie Kirk vigils. I mean, you saw thousands in downtown Franklin here for a vigil. Oh, yeah. Michael W. Smith led it, and his wife, Debbie, they were on stage. Beautiful, beautiful. And then what kind of vigils happened when George Floyd was killed, right? They burned down cities. This man, cities burned. So you have prayer services and burning cities. That's the difference in these two sides. Our country needs to get back to the prayer vigil. We need to get back to freedom, to being able to voice a different opinion and not lose your life over it. And because when they can't beat you, they just kill you, right? They try to silence you because they can't argue with you. And it's horrible. So, but it's been a really interesting week. And we want to celebrate his life and celebrate his commitment to Christ, his commitment to truth, to having open, honest dialogue with the youth in our nation that are our future. And praise God for this young man and all that he did and all that he has woken up in our country. It's absolutely beautiful.
Well, even in tragedy, there's good that comes out of this. And when I see the amount of people who are turning their lives around and trying to do the right thing and be a follower of Jesus Christ, it gives me hope. It gives me a lot of hope. And we live in an evil world, guys, and we all know it. It's just becoming more prevalent as we move forward, and we can see it every single day. And it's how you interact with people, how you love people, being that bright light in a very dark world. And there's more good than there is evil. The only reason evil has the foothold it has is basically because it gets more press than good. You don't see on the evening news great news, mom helping a child out or whatever, just different things going on out there that would be great news, except it doesn't bring quote unquote ratings. It's if it bleeds, it leads. That's the phrase that's always been out there. And it's like, that's the worst phrase you could ever have. But we're better than that. And I know we're better than that. And I'm starting to see a lot of people wake up to what's going on and really call it for what it is. We're dealing with a lot of evil out there.
Yeah, I see people waking up too, and I see them being courageous. Charlie was courageous.
Yes.
Erica is courageous, his wife, his widow. And his children will probably be warriors for Christ. And I love that there's so much video of him and his speeches. They don't even have them all out there yet. I was listening to a staff today talk with Megyn Kelly. They're still getting a lot of that content out there, which is just incredible. This young man, so he took care of himself and he walked all the time. They said he walked everywhere. Sometimes the staff are like, can we please stop for a minute? But he was physically fit. He rested. He made sure he was in the best shape to do what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Imagine if we were all in our best shape, how much more we could do, right? And you and I are working on that. It's always a goal. It's always a work in progress. But it's been encouraging to see. I know our feeds pick out what we like. That's what comes to us. So mine's full of Charlie Kirk. It's really, I can't listen to enough of it. It's really inspiring and encouraging. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, it's easy to get caught up in all the negative. And I feel like I tell Jan a lot of times when we're doing podcasts and stuff, I know sometimes we can get a little dark, but most of the time we try to keep it positive because there's so much negativity out there. And we don't want that, because you get enough of that, you get inundated with it, and it starts to hit your psyche big time. And so we try to be the most positive we can be, but also bring some serious stuff that's on our mind and stuff that we feel like needs to be said. But overall, I hope if you come in contact with us, whether here at the club or out in public anywhere, that you feel like maybe we're a blessing in some way, or you feel like you're uplifted. I feel like that's what our goal is to uplift people and let them know that we care and want what's best for them.
Yeah. I mean, when you see us, you should see Christ. If we're not reflecting him, then we need to get back on our knees. If you're listening to this, Turning Point USA, it's a great place to donate. I think they have a lot coming in. Your church is a great place to donate. I wonder if Turning Point takes Bitcoin. I might reach out. If they don't, I might help them set it up. That would be amazing. Tomorrow's service is going to be incredible. And for those that listen after this, it'll be online forever, I'm sure. And I think the White House even did a tribute to it. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to. And I think Fox News did, even though we hadn't watched as much Fox News. We really don't, it felt slanted. And with that whole call of that Arizona election, when they called that for Biden, that's when I turned it off. But there's a lot of good content out there. We're on X a lot. It's not censored, which is great. And we live in a day and time that's just bizarre, right? It's crazy that we have so much content coming in, and you have to filter what is or isn't true. So I want to say this. When I see a post on X that's like, oh my gosh, I start reading the comments and I start going, is that true? Because some of this isn't true. When you see a video, it may be AI. Let's talk about AI for just a second before we sign off. There's so many AI videos now, and you really almost can't tell the difference. So really, really be careful before you see something, you let it fire you up. Make sure it's really real and legitimate. And a lot of times the comments will actually tell you that. You could go to AI on Grok or on your computer, on your search. There's so much more help out there to find that information. Doesn't mean it's always correct either. You really need to look at your sources, at multiple sources, but always be careful now, because we're being fed a lot of stuff that's not real. I'll look at a video and it's like, wow. And then I'll look at the comment, I'm like, oh, that was AI. Or I've seen several videos where people like adopt like an otter. I know that sounds so funny.
I know, yeah.
But you see, it's like 10 videos put together. It's not the same otter. It's not the same people, but it is just to get clicks. Everything is to get clicks. So truth is what we're here for. We want, you just need to always look for truth. God, freedom, and Bitcoin. Truth starts with God. And Charlie Kirk said, God, family, country, in that order. Amazing.
Very amazing. And that's the thing, guys. And, I think in our last podcast, we mentioned, or I'd mentioned, that the best way to find truth is to get in your community, talk to people, get out there. Don't rely on your phone. Don't rely on AI, because all that is a matrix trap. And you're in a hamster wheel at that point, and you're just strumming. I know Janet, a couple of years back, she got hooked on TikTok for half a minute and had to get off it because she's like, I'm killing myself, wasting time. And that's what it is. It's like you're flipping through, reels are like that. All this stuff is like that. Get out in your community, be a part of it. Grow freedom, because it's up to us to make these changes that are needed out there. Because if we're just sitting at home and thumbing on our phones or playing on our computers and stuff like that, we're not a part of society. We're all a problem if we're not out there trying to grow and help people and show what God looks like.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons we're here with a retail store, which is unusual in this day and time
No doubt.
around the country, is because people need to see people. They need to connect. You also need to know in the Bitcoin space, there are scams. So you need to be able to shake that person's hand, look them in the eye, know they're legit, they're going to help you. That's why we're here. I think we're going to have 10 by the end of the year, 30 by the end of 2027. So it's coming to a community near you. But it's, so it's truth. We're trying to protect people from scams. And, and if you want to be around other people, we have events coming. So you mentioned this. So we have this Friday night in Nashville, south of Nashville, from 4 to 6, a Bitcoin one-on-one. Come ask your questions. Bitcoin Ben's actually going to be here. I need to change the ad for that because we didn't know that. So we're super excited about that. And we'll help people set up wallets. We'll just kind of be on hand for whatever your questions are. They're doing the Johnny Appleseed Festival at our Massachusetts club today. I don't know if that's tomorrow. I know it was today with like 25 to 30,000 people. Ben is going to be at the Texas club soon as well. Mm-hmm. So go to bitcoinben.io, go to the clubs, reach out and watch those events calendars, and let's get you connected, and we'll be happy to help you in any way.
Yeah, and programs too, guys. We've got these programs that we discussed earlier, the Homes to HODL, the private bulk purchase of Bitcoin and different things like that. So we've got some programs that you might be interested in, and also the Home to HODL and all that stuff. So
yeah. Coming fast. There's a lot going on. It's been an emotional week. Even one of my daughters who follow Charlie Kirk, it's been an emotional week. And we're really grateful to be here and wanted to have another show talking about him, because I don't think we're done talking about him. I think that murder, that was the turning point, his death. Everything to me feels like a line has been drawn, and I think it's going to be different from this point forward. I mean, I'm seeing fire in people that I haven't seen before. Good fire yes. For the Lord, a fire for truth, a fire to take our nation back, a fire against evil, against bullies, because the left has been they've been bullies. They're bullies. It's awful.
They're really unhappy, disgusting people. Let's be real here. They're just disgusting, unhappy, and communist. Most of those people are communists. Let's be real here. They're not nice people.
I know some lovely people that do have the other point of view, but what you and I are talking about here are the ones that are just so ugly online and in person. Because we know we have some people that disagree politically. Those people are not disgusting. They're not awful.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
But I wanted to clarify that because it's not all of them, but it is definitely some. And what you have are people on the right going, I'm done. I'm done being kicked. I'm done being bullied, and I'm done being exposed. Like, there is disgusting stuff. What you said, like in the different movements and what we've had to be forced to listen to and see and put our children in front of, that all needs to stop.
Well, we're the line of defense, whether we want to be or not. And, we should be, I'm thankful, and I've said this many times, I'm thankful this is not a kinetic war, and this is actually just it could be, but I feel like I know we're being protected. There's no doubt about it. And it comes from God. There's no doubt he's protecting us over all this stuff. I'm thankful for that, because it could be a lot worse. We could be in a world war, because anytime something needs to get, it's going to get exposed, they put us in a war. That's what it boils down to. And we're fortunate we're not having to do that, because they tried to get us in a war with Russia and Ukraine, a world war there. That would have been an absolute disaster. There would have been hundreds of thousands of lives lost, and the people's agitating it would not have cared that your son was going off to a foreign war and killed. They wouldn't care. So I'm thankful that what we're fighting is more of a cyber battle, and it's not a kinetic war, because that's far worse, and you're losing life for nothing. Literally, that's what war has always been. It's a loss of life for nothing, basically.
Okay. So I was reading that X post right before we came on, the one that talked about the scenario of Al Qaeda here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I need to look into this. I just saw it, but it said there are several reports where they're going to hit like 5 cities, and they're going to be dressed as police officers, as EMTs, to try to confuse everyone and to stop where the services can't be at the hospitals. I want to say Dallas, Miami, Los Angeles, New York, maybe one others, maybe Austin. But the reason I brought that up is we see stuff a lot. Oh, this is going to happen. This is going to be on this, and nothing happens. But I'm saying it because if it does, be on the lookout. Pray for truth. Pray God will show you. Pray He'll protect you. Because if they do come in fake uniforms and all that, that would create a world of confusion. And God is not a God of confusion. He's a God of truth. And so we really want our country safe. We want it back. And like even Megyn Kelly, she's doing her tour. She's not going to stop her tour. She has a tour plan. She said, I'm doing every one of those shows. We're going to have security to make sure she's safe, her team is safe. But she said, I'm not backing down. And I'm going. And you can go to megynkelly.com if you want to get tickets to that. But I've seen a fire in her. I've seen a fire across the board. And we should each have our own and stand for truth and push for the best in life, the best in our nation, the best in people. Help each other. Bitcoin, we're here to help people have financial hope and financial wealth and generational wealth. And you need to learn about Bitcoin. In our opinion, you need to get it and stack it and hold it as much as you can, as fast as you can, because it's going to be amazing in the future.
Yeah, and that's what each and every one of our clubs are about, are freedom. We're here to spread hope, freedom, love, and to also educate in the programs, of course. There's so many different things about these clubs that are important and moving forward, because we're growing an ecosystem built on this space. And it's amazing. It's beautiful. And we're here to help, each and every one of us. And that's why we put in the time and the effort. There's a lot of hard work behind the scenes up front that goes on that most people don't even see or realize. And it's a labor of love, but it's a very big love for all of us, because we realize that we're building something that's bigger than us. This isn't just about us. This is about the world. This is about our neighbors. You know, this is something that we're building that we're proud of, because we know we're helping people, and they're gonna help people. Times are tough. People are struggling, and you've got to have people need to know that people care. And I feel like in our organization, and Ben and Jay and all our leaders and stuff in our organization care about people. And that's why we're here, is to literally help each and every single American citizen, world citizen, blue collar, white collar, no collar, whatever, help them figure this space out.
Yeah. So if you want us to help, like speak to your group, say you have a group of friends, a church, what is it? Pickleball group.
Any organization.
Yeah. Todd and I would be willing to do a Zoom, and if you're not here locally, and just explain and talk about Bitcoin for your church. If you're in the Nashville area, we'll come in person. We really just want to help people, and you want to educate them. So reach out to us at bitcoinbend.io and go to the Nashville Club, and you can send us a message there. You can email us at info@bitcoinbendcryptoclubnashville.com. You can call us. Our hours are Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 4, Saturday, 11 to 4. And that number's 562. I just lost it. I always know the numbers.
This is hilarious.
I forgot the
moment.
number.
It's
oh
a blooper
gosh.
moment.
Oh my gosh.
Do I need to check this out? Let me see if I can find this real
it's
quick.
because I've been giving out the program's number.
I know. And I know we're at 1619 Galleria Boulevard. So that I do know.
That's so funny.
You know what? We need a board that has all this info on it, right?
I got it.
That's hilarious.
I lost my mind. 562-526-0813. 562-526-0813. You can text us. It's a phone tree, so you can go to any of the clubs that way, and we're happy to help. But we're excited. It's going to be a really special day tomorrow, celebrating the life of Charlie Kirk and celebrating our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's going to be beautiful. And hopefully the takeaway will be just a stronger community, stronger faith, a stronger country, and a new charge to go forward. And so that's exciting. We've got our meetup on Friday night, and we've got Private Key Capital coming in October, and Private Key Resorts coming probably in December. So there'll be a lot more Private Key coming as 26 progresses. So we appreciate you joining us tonight. I'm Janet Gatewood.
I'm Todd Gatewood. And I want to say, guys, be that hope, love, and change that you want to be, you want your communities to be, because it starts with us. Each and every one of us have an ability to change minds, change hearts, and be that someone special to someone who might be hurting. And we got to love one another, because this is only going to get worse until we help affect change.
Amen. Everyone have a great night and a great weekend. God bless you. Thank you for joining us with God, Freedom, and Bitcoin.
So long, everyone.
Lot going on here at the club.
About possibility of generational wealth and for your kids, grandkids, and their
And it's exciting because it gives us some financial hope.